Hey, real quick before we dive into the Hardcore Closer podcast, if you haven't already, jump over to hardcorecloser.com, sign up, and join over 20,000 sales professionals from around the world and receive free hardcore sales training every week after week that will help you step your game up. Now, buckle up, closers. Here's Ryan. Let's do it.
What's up, everybody? It's your host, your favorite closer, Ryan Stewman, the founder of HardcoreCloser.com, and the THC podcast is all about helping you close more deals. Look, if this is your first time here, it's going to get weird fast today. I'm just kidding, right? Just sit back, enjoy the ride. Hey, listen, if this is your first time here, I'm excited to have you. If you've invited somebody here, thank you for doing that. At the end of the show today, you're going to love it. You're going to love the stuff that I talk about today. Go to iTunes, leave me a 5-star review, hit the thumbs up, leave a comment on YouTube. Let us know you're listening. We read back the testimonials and the the reviews and everything like that every single week here on the show. And look, we get back to the sales community. We just want to know that you're listening to us. That's all. We just want to know that I'm wanted out there in the community. I put so much effort into this. Got no time for tears, Ryan. Let's keep going. So listen, this show today, doesn't matter if you're selling cars, homes, financial services, consulting, whatever it is that you slang, my man or my woman. This podcast is dedicated to help you generate leads sometimes about close, sometimes about personal development. Today it's going to be about some awkward shit. Like I said, it's going to get weird really quick. Before we do that, the iTunes review of the week is by AZ Hot Tubber. Where the hell do you find these people with these crafty ass names, Robert?
Bro, man, under all the reviews, bro, they be cracking me up, man. AZ Hot Tubber. What
the hell? Now, hey, I can dig the AZ Hot Tubber, right? Because I'm soon to be married to an Arizona blonde, right? They clone those things in Scottsdale. They're like full of them, right? Like Amy, it's like, you pay to go and to the right ranch to hunt the right deer, right? Like if you were looking for blondes, Arizona has the perfect ranch. They're like everywhere down there. But anyway, so the AZ Hot Tubber may have something to do with Scottsdale. I could see that being a big thing there, right? They got lots of hot tubs there. That's the thing, because there's no such thing as cold water in the fucking middle of a desert where it's 125 degrees every day, right? But it's right here. AZ Hot Tubber, 5 stars. He says, Ryan has some good stuff to share with the enthusiasm to match. I recommend you tuning in and in your morning commute and get pumped up and start thinking about new ways to grow your business. So we appreciate that, AZ Hot Tubber, because there is nothing cool in Arizona, right? It's hot as shit all the time. So let's get into this. We're going to talk about 5 awkward sales call moments, right? And we've all experienced awkward moments like, dude, I can't believe they just asked that, or I can't believe they said that, or sometimes we've said shit. They were like, I can't believe I just said that. Let's see how this plays out, right? Especially if we're being agged on by fellow salespeople. But there's no such thing as a perfect sales calls, right? Sometimes they'll be the most awkward situations you've ever been in. It's almost like when you were a youngster and you were asking, girls out on dates, or you're asking your boys out on dates, if that's your thing, or if you're a woman, right? You're like, whatever it is, right? That you get that like super awkward moment before they say yes or no. If you're a closer, they say yes, just by the way. But, most of us make dozens, if not hundreds of calls on a daily basis. We run into a lot of different scenarios and situations. And if you're a weirdo like me, which most of you are, you fucking savages, you enjoy the awkwardness. Over the years, I've grown some pretty thick skin. And most of my prospects may or may not embrace the awkwardness, right? So let's talk about 5 things that are really awkward during the sales call. The first one is the silence after the offer. We all know that saying, he who speaks first loses, right? If you have been in sales for any period of time, you know that that's the age-old adage. And it's always like, you make the offer and you shut up. And much like now, there's this uncomfortable silence. And they look at the paper, or they make the decision, and they look back at you, because the prospect knows the same rules. And so, and especially if you get in a situation where you hit them up and they know not to speak first, and they're just waiting for you to say something, just fucking with you, because they know you're a salesman and you're dying over there, crawling out of your skin. You're dying for them to just say something, and nope, they're not going to give you the pleasure. Not this time. They are not going to give you the pleasure. So it creates this awkward silence, and you're like trying to control your mouth and your tongue with every bit of your body. So let me do you a favor. Let me help you to avoid this situation again, right? So instead of presenting the offer and then letting them look it over, present the offer followed by a question. It's $19.99 today, sir. Would you like to purchase it today? Right? It's $19.99. You can have a look at that. Would you like to move forward and buy this? Here you go. Here's the offer. What's next? Right? Start moving them through the situation. That way you kill the silence, right? Because I hate that, right? As a salesperson, I don't like silence either. And so that's what I always do. I always just end the offer with a question. All right, next thing, the accidental talk over. I hate that. Like, you think they're done talking and you accidentally talk over them, and then you're like, no, you go. 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 Go ahead. Go ahead, you interrupting, rude-ass salesperson. Go ahead, right? That's what we all think's going on in their mind, and that's true. Like, the accidental talk over, it sucks, right? You didn't mean to be rude. You didn't mean to talk over them. Most of you, though, and here's how you can avoid this. Most of you, instead of listening to the prospect, you're thinking of what to say next. Stop it. Just listen to them. You'll figure out what to say after they're done talking. You're only going to need the last 30 seconds of what they say anyway. That's all that matters. Most people are so vague, take them forever to get around the point anyway. Just keep your mouth shut till they're done talking. Give them a good old count of 1 to 2 before you decide to start talking, right? Just count. I say maybe you count to 3, but 1 or 2 is good. Give them a chance to breathe and then speak. They'll actually feel like you're listening to them. It's awesome. Because the next one, and it really ties into this, is that no, you go ahead. I hate that, right? I hate that. It's like you talk at the same time, or even if you're walking through the door of an elevator or something like that, and somebody's like, no, you go ahead. It drives me absolutely nuts. And so the way that I do that is if somebody says, no, you go ahead, I just do. All right, well, here's what I was going to say. I just go ahead and do that. Or if I say, no, you go ahead, and they start on, I just write what I was going to say down on a piece of paper so I don't forget it, because that's often why we're interrupting people, because we're scared we're going to forget. Another awkward is when you have to explain how you got their info, right? Because people put their information on the internet and they forget. And you call and you're like, hey, it's Ryan with Hardcore Closer. And they're like, I've never hardcore anything. My wife checks this email. What are you doing? I'm like, oh, calm down. It's sales training, you fucking perv. Right? Like, and you have to explain how you got their information. It's weird, especially when I was in the banking business. I'd call and say, hey, this is Ryan with the bank. Got your information here. You better not run my credit. Like, whoa, dude, hold on. I was like, you gave us your information on the internet. Nobody's pulled your credit. Calm the fuck down. Let me explain to you what's going on. Remember when you were watching Jerry Springer yesterday and we ran this commercial, right? Like, that was exactly what I did too. It was like, explain this. Remember during Jerry Springer? Because that's when we ran commercials, right? And it fucking worked. We crushed it. So you have to explain how you got their info. And another big, huge one is when they hang up on you. They're just gone. You were in the middle of talking. You thought you was saying some really cool shit, and then you're like, sir, ma'am, are you there? Or what's worse, what can make it even awkward is because we don't trust technology, right? Phones drop, signals get mixed, people sound weird and distorted and everything else. So we're not sure if they hung up on us or if it was technology. And then what can get even weirder is when you call them back and you're like, I'm not sure if my phone dropped. They're like, quit fucking calling me, you goddamn salesman. Not that that's ever happened to me. I'm asking for a friend over here, right? So, like, but you know what? For me, if they hang up on me, these days I'm too old for this shit. But back in the day, I sure enjoyed it because I would call them back and be like, hey, man, our phones keep dropping. It doesn't keep dropping. I'm hanging up. Well, why would you hang up when I have something awesome to help you with? I like to change minds, but I also like conflict. That's just how I am. These days, I've outgrown that a little bit. But when they hang up on you these days, I just move on to the next one. But I'll call them back a few days later if I want to. So, hey, recap real quick. The silence after the offer. Hey, the way to cure that is ask a question when you present the offer. The accidental talk over. Hey, we don't have to fill dead air. Count to 3 when they're done talking. Let them catch their breath, and then you can go ahead. It's not going to make that big of a difference anyway. If they tell you to go ahead, then go ahead. If you tell them to go ahead, and they then proceed to let them go ahead, right? The explanation of how you got their information, man, that's some awkward shit, right? Well, you were on Pornhub, and you saw the ad for the big dick pills, and then here we are, and this is me calling you, right? You have to explain all that to them. The moment when they hang up on you, and it's like, just let them go, man. Just let them go. Hey, want to text HC Podcast to 44222, get my book for free. Again, that's HC Podcast to 44222 and you get my book for free. Of course, you love free shit. Make sure you go over to iTunes, leave us a 5-star review. We could be reading your weird freaking name out on a review sheet next week for the episode. And also make sure you go and you sign up over at clixo.com, CLYXO.com. You can check my profile out and find me on social media at clixo.com/closer. See you next time, closers.